I'm awesome.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you're going to watch this, you're going to know the whole movie, the whole thing. You have been warned.
Hey, what's up?
It's me, Ryan.
And Joe, how's it going? So we're going to do a review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem.
You go first.
All right. So overall thoughts were, I did really like it. Like, I thought it was one of the better Ninja Turtle films. I really did. And there's a few concerns. Like, I'm a fan of the live action ones. I really was back in the 90s. And then the Michael Bay ones, like a lot of people, I wasn't happy with the way the Turtles looked, but the overall feel of the Turtles were all right. So, I mean, I was satisfied there, but at the end of the day, it was CGI, so it still didn't really feel live action. So I've been waiting for a live action Turtles forever. So another animated one, especially one that is, I don't want to say 2D animated, because it's not. It's 3D animated, but it's made to look like 2D at some points. The art style is very original. It's kind of people are comparing it to Spider-Verse. I wouldn't compare it to Spider-Verse.
No, it's not like Spider-Verse. It was more like sketchy.
Yeah, and when we say that, we mean literal sketch. Like, there'll be times when there'll be smoke or there'll be an explosion, and then you'll get what appears to be actual, like, drawing lines.
Right, yeah. Like, that was where I noticed it the most, too, was how, like, yeah, when you saw, like, the smoke and stuff, you could see, like, the scribble. And it was, like, it was arguably, like, I don't want to say bad, but you know what I mean? It was arguably, they wanted their work to be visible. Is like how I would explain it.
Sure, but like they weren't actually drawing it, so obviously that was intentional.
Right, and whoever the animator
they wanted it to, but I know exactly what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
They wanted it to look like a work of art while it was being made.
Right.
I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, they wanted their
the
work
sketchy,
to be shown.
Yes,
and they had their very unique style, like you said, and I agree with that, where it was like, they had an obsession with people having very strange jaw lines.
Yeah,
like,
the human
everybody
characters
had, like, a crazy jawline going on, and I couldn't help but kind of find it a little funny, but it didn't distract me from the movie. I loved it, too. I thought the whole film, I loved the style.
I was going to say is the stylistic part. It wasn't just that with the chins, but yes, a lot of the I would say human characters had that weird jawline, but also the doors, or there was no, like, their boxes were kind of kiltered a little.
Yeah, like even like the street lights were like oval shaped. They were like wonky and shit like that. Like everything was imperfect.
It was stylistic.
It was imperfect.
For sure. Yeah, and it was like a comic book come to life is what I've heard a lot of people say, and I would agree with that.
But I think actually maybe I just hit on something, like, because everything was imperfect, and it kind of matches with, spoiler alert, kind of the overall message of the film, that it's okay to be different and weird and stuff like that,
Oh yeah, well this is
don't be worried about fitting in and stuff like that. So it kind of like matches that thought, I think. I don't know. No,
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll talk about the cast for a second. The cast was amazing. They had a lot of people that I really like in it, and then they had, like, the voice of the Turtles were all a bunch of kids I've never even heard of. April was a young girl I've never even heard of, and I was saying, like, it was pretty cool on Seth Rogen. He did his, everybody, like, it was my first time seeing a movie where in the beginning, like, the actor sits down and thanks you for coming to see the movie. And it
was very Tom Cruise of him.
I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was very Tom Cruise of him. Yeah, but I think that was really cool. And it kind of just goes with, Seth Rogen doing a great job at this film, being professional and kind of giving young kids a chance at something new, and the cast was very diverse.
Well, he said that he wanted to focus on the teenager because it was like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, no one ever focused on the teenager. They had 30-year-olds, whatever, playing the parts. He said that a few times in almost every interview, actually. Basically, what I'm saying is the good thing about the kids is they did focus on that, and it wasn't just, it was the adolescence, the wanting to be accepted, the growing up, the wanting to belong or be a part of things, which leads into how they ended the film, which I want to talk about a little bit later, because I want to get more into some of the positives, which we've talked a lot about. So actually, let me throw a few negatives out there. So I really, really liked the mutants, the villains, and they took some classic villains. That was really good. But what I didn't like is, to me, it felt like we didn't even get to see Superfly or any of the mutants till maybe 45 minutes into the movie. It probably wasn't an hour, but I felt like we spent a lot of time with the turtles, which, don't get me wrong, that's great, that's wonderful, but I just expected to see the mutants more throughout. I know that it's just a small negative, because when they were there, they were great. They stole the scene, but like, you know, some of them were a bit underutilized. I think Hannibal, who plays the frog character, I literally think you can count his lines on my.
I was about to
hand.
say, like, he didn't even have that many lines. That's why I was kind of shocked when I found out that was Hannibal, because he's hilarious. They should have done a little bit more with him.
Yeah.
But I mean, spoiler alert, I'm not going to say what happened.
It's a spoiler review. You can say what happened.
Well, there's a post-credit scene. Mid-credit scene.
It's a mid-credit scene.
No post. Mid. And it completely foreshadows that there will be another movie.
Well, I heard news that there's always plans if a movie is successful to continue. But what the rumor is, actually, I think it was in some of the trades, actually, there's going to be a series and a sequel is already planned. Cool. So, and this has got a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So chances are people are going to like it. Let's see how the weekend box office is. Because if this bombs, there's not going to be sequels.
There was one part that I was like, where, like, I understood what they were doing. They were showing how they all learned Kung Fu.
Sure.
And it was like, it went between, like, really old videos, which is like, okay, that makes sense. Like, of course they would find old samurai videos and they could learn off of that shit. So that made sense, right? But then it would, like, switch between, like a modern day, like, influencer doing something.
Karate.
Which, like, didn't match in the least.
It was for the kids!
And it didn't make sense to me. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious how, like, they mixed that in to, like, because they would put real life shit.
Yeah, this was live action.
Like, live action shit
footage.
Footage into the movie.
Like, at one point, the turtles are, see Ferris Bueller playing in a city park.
But for a second there, you think that they actually, like, are gonna, like, interact. Like, they fooled you into thinking that
for a split second.
That was a cool shot. That was a cool bit.
Oh yeah, it was real cool. Some of the other positives. So voice actors were all great. I thought Rose Byrne as Leatherhead was. I don't know, it was a weird choice. I get it. She's Australian, and Seth Rogen produced it, and Seth Rogen and her are friends. They worked on Neighbors and a bunch of other stuff together. Right now they have an Apple TV show. So it's like, I get it. And honestly, I love her. I think she's great, and Insidious and Physical is a great show. I mean, but Leatherhead, I don't know, man. I felt Leatherhead was a little wasted. All the mutants, see, it was cool to see them on screen. That's the thing, is I don't want to say that they were underutilized, but they were. But it was cool to see them on the screen because we haven't seen them in live action. Well, I keep saying live action. We haven't seen them in a theatrical film before.
Right.
You know? All right, so the whole movie, real quick, because this is a spoiler. Superfly's trying to build a machine. We find out that his machine is trying to basically make all animals...
He's trying to, like, Magneto everybody.
Kind of, yeah. So he's trying to... Well, not just Magneto, it's also... The Amazing Spider-Man 1, when the lizard was trying to turn everyone into lizards by a machine that shoots shit in the atmosphere.
I didn't see that one.
So I'm just saying, like, the shooting something in the atmosphere to turn every mutants, and then the mutants would kill the humans. I mean, it wasn't...
Or we would turn into freaks, and they would use us for shows and stuff.
Yeah, so that wasn't wholly original. But then they did a double thing, where after we stopped that from happening, Superfly's mutated into a kaiju. And then, okay, so it's a little different.
Powerhouse performance from Ice Cube.
Ice Cube did great.
He did great.
So,
I thought it was awesome.
As they're fighting the kaiju, you know, they have a simple, this is how we do it. They do it, great, blah, 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 in the movie. But, a few things. The whole thing is the turtles want to be accepted. They really want
It was really touching.
Yeah, they wanted to be accepted. They're normal teenagers. They want to live their lives. And, well, it ends that way, which doesn't really happen in Turtles. Like, April announces that they're the good guys. They're trying to fight Kaiju Superfly, and they're trying to save the day. And there's an announcement of just simply, hey, these turtles are on our side. And then after they win, everyone's clapping, and they're like, yay, and the whole city sees them, and everyone sees them. They're presumably on the TV, so the whole world knows about them. And I had a few questions there. I'm like, all right, well, what are they going to do? Are they going to continue to live in the sewer? Because, like, why would they live in the sewer? Why wouldn't they get an apartment? But yes, they continue to live in the sewer. And also...
Yeah, because it shows all the mutants.
Also, they get all the
now.
mutants... They get all the mutants to come live with them.
Because, yeah, they're all homies. Because at the last second, you know, the Turtles and Splinter are able to talk them into...
To turning out Superfly.
Let's not kill everybody.
Yeah. All right, so here's the thing. Now we have a situation where... The Turtles also end where they go to high school. So they're literally normal teenagers in high school. It is a great ending. As far as the movie is concerned, it is perfect. But now, what do we do? Everyone knows about him. It's kind of like if everyone knew Bruce Wayne was Batman, or almost. I mean, I guess not because they didn't have a secret identity, but like everyone knows about him. And another thing is, we have some of our best villains in Mutant Mayhem who are now just living with the Turtles.
Yeah, they're arguing about moving furniture around.
Yeah, so Bebop and Rocksteady apparently are just hanging out and living with the Turtles. So those are some of the negatives. But overall, I loved the movie. I really did like the movie. It is 97%, which the highest other Ninja Turtle movie I think was like 37 or something like that.
I laughed a lot. It had me laughing a lot. A lot of really funny parts.
Oh yeah.
The child voice actors were hilarious. It was funny.
They were.
I thought they did a great job, man. They killed it. It was hilarious.
Did do a good job. A couple things, though. Jackie Chan. He was great as Splinter. But Splinter was a dad, not a sensei.
Yes.
There's an important distinction here. Like, Splinter was a father.
Yeah.
He did teach them how to fight, but it was more of it was honestly because he feared the outside world, not because of many iterations where he actually learned it before becoming who he became.
He was just a rat.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, because
and he taught them self-defense.
In the original cartoon and in the 1990 movie, he was a rat who watched his master, who was a kung fu artist, and learned from there. Then I don't know about the original comic, but I know the 80s cartoon, he was a human who touched a rat and got turned into Splinters. So it really depends on what your iteration went. Yeah. But in this one, he is a New York rat, just straight up New York rat. And
yeah, just comment. Yep, no kung fu. The only reason he taught them kung fu was the backstory. They did like a flashback where he basically explains to them why he's afraid, and he took them up there because they really wanted to see it, and they basically got chased out of town.
Yeah, because humans are dicks. I mean,
and so that was his whole reasoning, and then he for that reason he got these old karate videos, and then I guess like some YouTube videos. I guess is what they're implying.
We'll say it looked like TikTok or like Snapchat or like something. Instagram stories,
right? And that's how he learned to teach them the ways of the ninja, and it was awesome, and it was pretty sweet. I like that they gave depth to April O'Neil. Like there was more to her in this. She's
definitely a younger April, so she's a high school aged April, so she's the same age as the Turtles in this film,
and she's a little chubbier.
Yeah.
She's chubbier, but she's cute. She's cute, but I mean, they're all supposed to be teenagers.
Yeah, and once again, because the last iteration, I believe, is the first time they made April O'Neil African American. The character was great because, like you said, she had depth, and she was her motivation made sense, and her wanting to be a reporter made sense. Everything about her, actually, in my opinion, for this film, really worked.
Yeah, no, like I said, everything about it was really cool, and I love that Leo falls in love with her. I thought that was pretty. It
seems like a turtle always falls in love with April.
That was good. Like I think this is like really the first time I saw like where Leo was actually like
straight up
infatuated. Like, and I thought that was funny, and all the other turtles messing with him. Naruto.
Well, the 2012 series, Nickelodeon, I believe Nickelodeon's first series, which was just called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was the 3D animation one. Donnie was obsessed with April.
Okay.
Yeah. That movie. It took me a while to get into that show because for some reason the gap between Donnie's teeth really bothered me to the point where I was like, I'm not watching this show. Also, I was in my 20s.
I was gonna say, well, it's funny how. That was like the reason why I didn't like this film that like 100% is because like I loved this film. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. I thought it was great. But yeah, I get the artistic thing, but yeah, it kind of threw me off. The weird shit, like
So
how
the
you
art-
felt about the gap in the teeth, is how I feel about everybody having a broken jaw in this movie.
Yeah, so the art messed with you more than
the story
more
was
than
great.
me, for some reason.
Yeah, all the voice actors were great. Oh, we didn't even give props to the gecko.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, dude. Paul Rudd
Paul Rudd was a good gecko.
was hilarious, man. Fucking Paul Rudd was arguably one of my favorite characters in the film. He did a great job.
Yeah, so he is a very likable character, and it feels like Paul Rudd. I should have known that the mutants were going to go good, because Paul Rudd's character was very likable. And honestly, a lot of them were likable, but they didn't have much to do. So it still could be like, oh, well, maybe they're evil. But they really made Paul Rudd likable.
They did.
Mondo Gecko.
Dude, he was him and Mikey were bros.
Yeah.
It was pretty sweet.
Which makes perfect sense.
It was
perfect
funny.
Turtles film for sure.
It was funny, you know what I mean? It's everything you want like it was badass. The fight scenes were kick ass.
Yeah.
You know, like there was some badass parts where, you know, when they were like getting the information and they were finding stuff like that.
Yeah, when they were so there's badass parts. What he was saying is they're tracking down Superfly. So there it looked like there was 4 different bosses in this crime syndicate, and I don't remember all of them, but one was a normal guy and a mattress salesman. One was like Tommy Toupee, I think, and then there was like Shorty Say, I don't know, but they were all like gangster type characters, and one by one they go through them to get to Superfly when they're trying to track him down, and they do this great montage where through the cutscenes they'll show them taking down one, then the other, and then there's similar match cuts of like them pointing out and fighting, and it was beautifully done, and it just gets us through that point. I really like that.
Remember when, and then they the one scene, a car turns on and go ninja, go ninja, go. It was that was like nice. So yeah, I was clearly Vanilla Ice. I wonder if it was his. I mean, obviously it was his song initially, but I wonder if they covered it or if I don't know.
Or if they actually used his
I
song.
think it did sound.
There'd be no
different.
reason not to.
It did sound a little different.
It did sound a little different. Yeah. All right. The kids were great. They were very topical. They talked about Marvel movies. They talked about
a lot of references, like Ratatouille. They called Splinter Ratatouille. What were they saying? They were like, "Man, he's got crazy tools over here, like Megamind style or whatever."
There was a rumor that they were going to try to bring Megamind into the Ninja Turtle universe. I don't know if they're going to do that.
They mentioned him.
I know, but I think that's just because
they just used him as a reference.
Well, it was done by Paramount, wasn't it? And Paramount and Nickelodeon, I think it's the same company essentially.
I don't know.
The point is, I think it's their intellectual property, so I don't know. They could cross it over, but I don't think.
I don't know. No, but yeah, they made it was something else, something in Megamind. Oh, I think he said Gru and Megamind. Yeah, he said like Gru and Megamind shit. So I heard talk that they were going to try to get Gru into it.
I didn't hear Gru, but if that is the case,
and that was one of the.
But it wasn't. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense because that's Illusion. That's Universal. This was not
Illumination.
Yeah, but that's Illumination and that's Universal. This is Paramount and Nickelodeon. That is completely different companies.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that is the case.
Yeah.
Either
way, it was a cool reference. It was
It
funny.
was a great reference.
Yeah, a lot of the references were like very like. Get the Shreks.
Yeah.
They were calling
Kill the Shreks.
Yeah, they were calling the turtles Shreks. Yeah, they're like, go get the Shreks.
Yeah, so at one point, when they first meet April, they accidentally throw a ninja star and it strikes her in the helmet, and so she's like, what the hell, what are you guys doing? And as she's yelling at them, a vagrant comes by, takes her moped, and drives away. Leo immediately has a crush on April and is like, let's get the Segway, let's get it, and, bring it back. And so they do that, and when they break into the factory with all the thugs, that is the time where they're all like, what do they look like? I think they're this. I think they're like, they kind of look like Shreks to me.
Yeah.
And then when all the hell breaks loose, like, kill the Shreks!
I like how it's like just been incorporated into Raphael that he's the only one that has a full bandana on.
Yeah.
In every movie, he always has now a full bandana.
Which, the first time I saw that, and I don't know if it was the first time it appeared, but the first time I saw that was the 1997 live-action show Ninja Turtles and the Next Mutation. Yeah, that was the first time, and a lot of them were doing that weird stuff. And I guess it's to differentiate them more.
And I like how in this one he was the fat kid.
Well, fair enough.
Even when he was a little turtle, he was fat kid.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
Well,
I like the fat kid representation. I like it.
Yeah.
I used to be fat.
I was gonna
okay,
say, out of the two of us right now, I'm the fat kid.
I used to be fat.
You did used to be fat, and
So
now the tables have turned.
I feel for the fat people. Like I'm still a fat kid at heart. Fat's coming. Fat is always knocking at my door, dude.
Oh,
Oh, dude, I'll be fat.
I'll
again
take
one
your
day.
skinny whenever you want my fat, bud.
I will be fat again one day. I'm sure it will happen. I love Taco Bell too much.
Oh my god, Taco Bell's a bad example. You want to get fat, man? We got to get like there's what's the worst thing ever? Something that's all
Pasta.
fried. Oh, I love pasta.
Pasta's how you get fat. Pasta's how you get fat.
Pasta's inexpensive.
And it's delicious.
So is Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
We
So, real quick though, let's say out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
I give it 4.5. Only because it's like I don't know. I'm not big on these cliffhanger movies.
Well, it wasn't a cliffhanger.
A little bit.
Not at all.
With that mid-credit scene, I
That
felt like
mid-credit scene was just teasing the next movie. They do that with everything.
Yeah.
A cliffhanger.
I still say 4.5 stars.
That's fine. I'm not trying to talk you out of your.
No. I stand by it because it's like it's not perfect. I'm not expecting perfect either, but that's just my answer.
Awesome. I give it 4 stars out of 5, and that's because I feel like 5 loses all meaning if you give everything 5.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? So I can't give it 5 because it's not a perfect movie, but I really, really like the Ninja Turtles, and I have my whole life. And you could pretty much screw up the Ninja Turtles, and I'll still like it. A lot of people enjoyed Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I thought the show was garbage, and I still loved it. So it's kind of hard to not love the Turtles, but objectively, I have to say 4 out of 5. Because
and I actually do agree with that. I think I adopt 4 out of 5 only because there were times where it's like I understood the artistic purpose of the drawing, but like I said, there were parts that were arguably bad looking because it looked sketchy and not great. And in certain parts, it's like I found that sort of kind of took me out of the universe because like a lot of things were so well done, and then something would happen, and then you get like these scribbles. Yeah, and it's like
scribbles is a good way of wording it, because like even like when there's a silhouette and they're running between buildings, like jumping like as a group, the background has like the sun or the moon. I'm sorry, but inside the moon is like it looks like someone had a crayon and just kind of scribbled it, and it's a little wiggly like Dr. Katz used to be.
It was like purposefully bad, and like I said, like kinda,
I would say it's a choice and a style, not bad, but you didn't care for it.
But like I said, yeah, and like everybody's jawline, everybody had a broken jaw. Like, everybody's jaw, like, jutted in and came back over, like, for some reason on their left side. Like, I don't know why, but that was what they went with almost every character.
There was a lot of weird jaws with human characters.
It was very odd. It was off. That was a little off-putting to me, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and demote them that half. I'm going to give them a full-fledged 4 out of 5 stars myself as well.
All right.
Just because of the weird chins. The weird chins got them 4. And the scribbly lines. But other than that, great script. Great cast.
Yeah, great cast.
Great director.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
I love it.
Good job.